Hello everyone, I hope you're having a good time. I apologize for being so lazy when it comes to uploading these videos, but I was caught up in the last few days of Ramzan and Eid. Today we are going to talk about fiction and its importance in creative writing. Please turn on your captions if you have any difficulty in following along. Let's jump right into it. Now, creative writing comprises of fiction and poetry. Both enable you to express a burning desire in your heart. It may be that of love, hatred, sadness, or anything else. I will deal with fiction alone in this whole series because I do not consider myself able enough to talk about poetry yet. However, if I manage to gather a few ideas from poets who surround me, I'll be more than willing in talking about it as well. Fiction is something that is not much scrutinized if you are a budding author, and the stories you weave stay relevant unless you are focusing on a singular narrative. Fiction is all about saying the things you think about or feel. It helps you voice uncomfortable and unconventional thoughts at times. Don't be fooled, however, you can always have a look at Lolita if you think fiction won't fetch you black backlash. You can go back in time and construct your own present or go into the future and design it as you wish. Sometimes you can create a new Midgard or Elysium for yourself. Of course, if you have to provide a commentary on serious issues, then frankly, there is nothing better than creative writing to do so. It keeps the reader ingrained and delivers your ideas to the unsuspecting reader. A reader is usually not on guard for ideas he is naturally predisposed against. Hence, a reader may have supremacist feelings and end up liking 1984. Someone or something, usually the reader himself, makes the connection between what he read and his real life, and that kind of realizations change entire lives. So, in order to write good fiction, choose the setting. We have talked about how some ideas strike you on the go and if they are so powerful that you want to pen them down as you move. For such ideas, usually the best setting is your surrounding. If you're going to have a quick thought about a chocolate while you're giving your exam, it's best to write a story around a chocolate and an exam hall. Don't write a story about chocolate in your exam paper though. Of course, there are just rapid stories with no thread of continuity. If you wish to write a long, drawn out fictional piece, then you will have to think about all the things you wish to talk about and then change those things or people into characters. Let's assume my friend Heather is someone who backbites people a lot and won't stop talking. If I wish to use him in the story, it's okay if I change Heather into Hadia and give her a sharp tongue and a habit of playing with her hair with sly eyes and a long nose. Why did I just choose all of those characteristics? I have no clue. This is one of those rare moments where I'm going to ask you to make use of your and your culture's stereotypes. I don't endorse them, but writing fiction is a fun way of coming to terms with the fact that you have them. A few quick tips before we dive into examples. Normally, it is easy to keep the story very relevant to contemporary issues or not at all. If you're somewhere in between where you want some part of your story to reflect the world and others are just fictional, then it's going to be very confusing for the readers to draw a parallel. The best piece of advice I can give you is to make the readers think without thinking about the words. What do I mean? Let's have a look at this line from the Percy Jackson series. Nico's eyes looked like shattered glass. Percy wondered sadly if something inside him had broken permanently. Now, you know what? Something bad has happened. Nico is probably on the verge of tears. You can imagine the tears in his eyes appearing as if his eyes have been shattered. The author hits the pain home when he says that Percy wondered if something bad had happened to Nico and something had broken inside of him permanently, as in something happened from which Nico would never recover from. This line would force everyone to think about the scenario, but due to the simplicity of the sentence, you never once had to stop and think about what a particular word meant. You knew the meaning of every single word, and hence the only thing you thought about was the scenario. In short, use easier words to draft complex sentences. Do not just throw in the toughest words from the English dictionary. Now, let us have a look from this quote of Artemis Fowl. I am unarmed, but Butler here, Butler, has a six saucer in his shoulder holster, two Shrike throwing knives in his boots, a derringer too short up his sleeve, garrote wire in his watch, and three stun grenades concealed in various pockets. Anything else, Butler? Before we talk about this example, let us have a look at another one. This is a classic paragraph from 1984. The party said that Oceania had never been in alliance with Eurasia. He, Winston Smith, knew that Oceania had been in alliance with Eurasia as short a time as 4 years ago. But where did that knowledge exist? Only in his own consciousness, which in any case must soon be annihilated. And if all others accepted the lie which the party imposed, if all the records told the same tale, then the lie passed into history and became the truth. Who controls the past? ran the party slogan, controls the future. Who controls the present controls the past. And yet the past, though of its nature alterable, never had been altered. Whatever was true now was true from everlasting to everlasting. It was quite simple. All that was needed was an unending series of victories over your own memory. Reality control, they called it. In Newspeak, doublethink. The first example was easier to imagine. You could visualize the weapons Butler had on him. The name denoted his position as Artemis's personal bodyguard correctly. You can imagine he was a burly guy that would have been. Second was Orwell telling you something you already knew in a way you would have never imagined. He is crisp and he hardly uses 300 pages to write a definitive piece of fiction on totalitarianism. Those are two of the most important parts of fiction, writing in an easy language and seeing what others feel. That does not mean you should not write for yourself, but you must realize that you are not alone and that there are others who think like you. The reason you have not read something you resonate with a lot is not because you are alone, but because a lot of people like you have never written. As Bukowski said, there are enough words for all of us. So keep writing. That's it for this one, guys. I hope you really liked it. Stay tuned for episode 4. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you like whatever I'm doing. I'll see you around. Take care.